welcome to Marvel Multiverse Mondays. I am Nick, of course. I'm joined by Kyle.
Hey, what's up?
And Christine again.
Hi.
It's like our new regular.
Loud. I'm sorry.
That was perfect. So we're here to discuss the series finale, as it's titled and as it should be, of WandaVision, which aired Friday. The reason I'm saying it should be is like people are all like, how many of these shows are going to have multiple seasons? And with WandaVision, it's like this is obviously built to be a chapter, not to be like it's not going to come back in a year and be another sitcom story.
Yeah.
No.
Whereas like Loki, I think they've announced the second season of Loki, if I'm not mistaken already.
At least rumored. I'm not sure if it's 100% confirmed. Maybe.
You would assume most of the shows you would do once. Well, I don't know. This is an interesting discussion to start with. Like you would assume at least the main actors would be in them once, like the A-listers. Like if there is a Hawkeye season 2, it would be Kate Bishop show, no Jeremy Renner. Or if they're like
more than likely, I would agree with that.
Because in a way, most of these are movies. So you don't know, there could be a Falcon and the Winter Soldier 2, but
That'd be fun.
Yeah. But in this case, as assumed, which got us off topic, this is the last episode ever of WandaVision. Maybe there'll be some Wanda something else show, but
yeah,
or the Viz Hour. But
well, there's what we have talked about before her in all of this. This is a magic show. I hammered that from like episode 1 of our reviews, which was the first 2 episodes. I'm like, this is all magic based, and there's some tech stuff to lead us to go towards Secret Invasion, possibly even with some connections to Falcon Winter Soldier. We theorized Hayward might fall in with the group that is, we don't know their name, but they're at least based on the Flag Smashers from the comics. But this was a magic thread that we would at least follow from here to Spidey, and then from Spidey to Doc Strange, with potential touchings on the magic side with Loki potentially.
And obviously, we haven't seen any, I guess, dimensional shit yet. But Loki, we know, deals with that, so that's one of the reasons we assumed it. But yeah, I could definitely see it. He's on that end, not on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier end.
Exactly. Potentially some tendrils going off there. But a lot of people out there lit their I guess a year without the MCU really made us thirsty because everyone wanted this to kick off so much, and it's like you and I feel we kept after especially after episode 3 and definitely after 4, we were very, very tempered with our theories, and everything was magic based, and most of what we've got still holds as potential in the future. But you and I, we even agree. We're like, no, please don't let the expansion be how we get mutants. That would be terrible. Please don't.
No Magneto. No.
Yeah, like don't.
Fantastic Four. Like, don't give us that.
You and I, we didn't like. Sure, we reached on what we thought would be at least seen or revealed at the end of this, but doesn't mean that it can't be part down the road, because if you followed this story the way it's written so far, and they continued to adapt the way they have, it clearly leads to stuff dealing with her getting the kids back, and the House of M stuff is all there's a lot of stuff there. What's got people so mad is almost like what got people upset with The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, with fan theories not coming true, and then retcons between Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. So many people had expectations, and it's
Too big of expectations. Yeah, where it's like it's a TV show. Don't make it too big.
And it's our first step back in, and it wasn't even meant to be the first step back in. Nick, what do you think about that everybody that's like angry that there was no mutant name drop or anything like that?
I don't know. Jammer actually congratulated me on Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast. For normally I'm the guy who's like quick to hate something or love it too much. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about how, fans might hate the finale because they didn't or the director. No, we were talking about the quote from the director where he's like, a lot of fans are going to be upset because it's not going to be their theory or their theory or their theory. And I was like, I don't care. As long as it's good, I really don't care how wrong or how right I was. Like, I'm not expecting the mutants. I don't care if Pietro is actually from the other universe. I'm fine that he's Ralph Boner. I think we just jump around this episode.
Yeah.
Trevor Slattery version 2, basically.
I still wish. Oh God,
I love your
this
theory.
Would have been the meta of metas would have been to show her grabbing Evan Peters from like a gas station and making him, Pietro. And we learn it's like his driver license in the house is Evan Peters.
Yeah, that
would have been great. But yeah, the people that got upset, you knew what to what you were doing to fans. I have been saying, I don't. Where was the first time I mentioned the word misdirection? I think was
you mentioned it a lot.
Our second or third episode. I was like, there's a lot of stage magic stuff going on here, and I have been hammering that misdirection point since the beginning, and hammering that this is a magic story with touches of the text side to go elsewhere, but for her, magic. And yeah, so
welcome to the Kyle is Right show.
No, that's going to be next week. Well, no. I'm kind of playing.
I'm trying to be funny.
I know, no, and I'm kind of playing a character here. Some people think I'm grading. I'm sorry. I do plan to go with Nick, at least Nick, if not additional people next week. And besides recapping this season, we've got the theories that Nick and I definitely got, right, that held through from call to end, and then the theories that are wrong, and then theories that were the ones where we were like, this is iffy, and those are the ones that, might show up further down the road or something like that.
Yeah, like it still could happen.
So I don't know why it is never it is such a cliche to say this, but it's never the destination, it's the what? The journey, right? Yeah. And all of the things that you see along the way and the memories that you make. And there's no one that can't deny, or no one can deny that it wasn't a shit ton of fun to whiteboard this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't be mad. Wait until you guys see Falcon and Winter Soldier, because if you think the whiteboarding is over, do you not realize Skrulls are on Earth?
I think
have some fun.
I think it was Coots who retweeted this. I saw it on Twitter, and it was like, Marvel realizing since Captain Marvel they can use Skrulls in any of their post-credit sequences as a twist. Because think about it, the last project ended that way too, when that was the first film to have a post-credit sequence
Yeah.
Ant-Man had one, but didn't relate back to Skrulls. But we got Skrulls at the end of Far From Home, and we're getting Skrulls now. But so far, we've only seen good Skrulls, which is nice as far as we know.
Right. And again, this wasn't meant to be the show we saw next.
No.
So.
In fact, on the original schedule, this is what's making it so painful, and people are complaining online. This was supposed to be months before Doctor Strange, not like years before Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So, and I'm actually wondering how important Spider-Man will be at all to it. I'm starting to sound like there is no even break in the multiverse by that point.
Spider-Man thing?
No, I almost think they might be. At one point, I thought the director said, or Feige, it was a theory that they were bringing in the other actors just so that you could be like, oh, I know Doc Ock's motivation, and I know this guy's motivation, and they're just doing a Sinister Six movie with established characters without.
And that's a possibility that you described as well. For shits and giggles, Nick, let's look at this episode a bit. It starts off with Agatha and Wanda still facing off with each other with the kids, and Agatha admits to what she wants. She wants Wanda's powers, just what she wanted when she was studying dark magic, and when her sisters attacked her, she was able to defend herself with what she learned with that, and which taught her that she can absorb magic.
I like the line where she's like, I absorb it from those who don't deserve it, or whatever. It's kind of my thing. Yeah. It's also very Mordo.
Kind of, sort of.
As we saw at the end of Doctor Strange, where he's taking back other sorcerers' magic.
Yep, exactly. And which makes you wonder, did he also then study the dark dimension because of his ability to take from that Law and Order actor guy who got his legs back at the post-credit scene when he So that's interesting. We get our Vision versus Vision initial.
She tells the kids to run inside.
Yep.
And then Agatha's like, yeah, you should listen to your mom.
Yeah, but that's not before we get a comic book reference from when Vision is, without his memories, and he doesn't remember Wanda. But unlike the comics, he attacks her, and that's when Vision comes to save the day.
And of course, it's just Vision voice. It's not like we got Ultron or anything weird. And for a moment, you're like, because of the comics and what's been going on, that he's not actually like, oh, Wanda. Like, in the second hand goes up, it's like he's gonna smash her head.
Well, I didn't know if he would straight up smash her head, or if he was gonna try to put her to sleep, or I didn't know. I knew he was gonna do something, because they wanted to obviously use the image of her realizing it's not her vision. And they also needed to do something a little different with him, because they've got, unlike the comics, they've got two visions in this show. Mm-hmm. So it's a fun fight. I like it. Everything looks good. There's some shots here where you can definitely tell they don't have a movie budget, but as far as like an opening scene, from I would say from the open to when Vision versus Vision and Agatha asks, "Oh, it's your
ex and your boyfriend."
Yeah. Who you gonna choose, Wanda? Nick, the opening for you.
What? Oh, just
you cool with it? You liked it? What I mean?
Yeah. I liked it. How about you, Christine?
Did you notice?
Yeah, it was fun.
Did you notice anything interesting about it at all? Anyone?
Oh yeah, one of the things I liked was when Wanda does her Civil War move, since she can't hit Agatha directly without Agatha absorbing the magic, and she throws the car at her, and then you
Yeah,
get the
that was
Wicked
funny.
Witch feet, which
And
she goes
the
to look
Wicked
for,
Witch
and it's
feet.
just it's just the boots.
Yeah, that was funny.
I absolutely love that. Which there's two definite Raimi references in this finale. Which he's directing Doc Strange to. That Wizard of Oz bit connected with
Oz the
a
Great and
sign
Powerful.
change for Oz the Great and
Yep, that's
Powerful.
on the wall. Yeah, that's on the
The
theater
boots
thing,
and
too.
that combined plus the end credit scene. But anyways,
Yeah, I was wondering why they had that on the why Disney picked that one to put up since it was like such a big flop and everything on later when the TV's going. And I'm of course, isn't that Raimi's last film that he directed? Like he has not been busy.
So I love the Monica and who we find out is actually Ralph Boner eventually,
Not
but
really
Evan
her
Peters'
husband,
character,
but
yeah,
is named Ralph.
yeah. He's not the missing person. He's not the rabbit. He's not a mutant. He's not Pietro from another universe, and he's not. Unfortunately, he's not Evan Peters, which I would have loved. But this is hilarious casting, and I'm not mad about it. Christine, do you feel tricked, cheated? Do you feel negative in any way about the Evan Peters?
No, I thought
casting?
it was. I thought it was funny, especially it's got such an unfortunate name. But yeah, he's just he's like, yeah, this is my man cave, and it's like, yeah, this sad guy, and I feel bad for him already. Like, I don't know, because he's stuck in this small town. He's got a bad name. I do what?
He has headshots.
Yeah,
he does.
Yeah,
want to
I
be
know.
an actor.
He's trying. Yeah, life's not so great for Ralph.
Now, it's
So.
his house. Obviously, we see a bill or something.
Yeah.
No, we're jumping around a little bit because, to be fair, that's the second time we go back to Ralph and Monica. He obviously still has powers because he's being possessed in some way the first time we see them.
Right.
And at first I was like, how is such like this stoner loser, which is he went from being from Jersey when he was being controlled to being like Snooper's gonna snoop, and he got the stoner clothes on, and his man cave. If it wasn't Disney, you sure you'd see a bong in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And speaking of Disney, I can't believe they did a boner joke. That's pretty filthy for them.
Joke for Growing Pains, the sitcom Growing Pains.
Oh really?
And one of the characters' names was Boner.
Oh, really?
And the director of the show, Matt Shackman, he was on a Growing Pains spinoff show called something 10 something. Yeah, he was on a Growing Pains spinoff show. It's not a boner as in male erection joke.
No, it's not spelled
you
that way.
Asshole.
I went there too. Don't worry.
Boner.
It's
No, the
again
other thing I
a
was gonna
very
say,
meta TV reference.
Yeah. I was like, how is this stoner loser afford a house that it's a good, it's a big house.
I think he
It's
inherited it.
yeah, probably. My other thought was that Westview was so shitty that he got it really, because once it turns back at the end, just like you saw in the last episode, it's shitty. The lawns are dead. There are broken down cars all over the place.
Yeah, it's suburban hell.
Yeah, it's a city
Exactly.
who'd seen better days.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when half the universe gets,
Yeah, 5 years. It's
Wipe
like
that
yeah,
out.
it'll destroy a cute little town.
Oh yeah, real estate's probably cheap as shit after half the people in the world disappeared.
Yeah, exactly.
So we need to get someone in this house.
Exactly.
Half the realtors that are left.
it's the legal things after everyone returned alone would be ridiculous. Anyway, speaking of legal shit, let's talk Sword and FBI with Wu and Hayward. Wu's been captured because Darcy got brought into the hex. Monica went into Who the Hex, and that left, poor Wu by himself. But he's got a plan, which is cool. He bluffs without bluffing. He bluffs at first, knowing that he is going to do exactly what he's bluffing on doing, which is awesome. Palms a phone, gets to escape. It's really cool. I love the flourish again.
The magic,
stage magic.
Yeah.
So much of this show had legitimate throwbacks to God.
It just works. Like Marvel makes this stuff work because Ant-Man that wasn't planted in Ant-Man to be paid off later.
No,
it was there, and now they're like a magic show, a character who was learning magic last time we saw him. Like maybe that's why actually they chose him for this show.
And he's fun.
Yeah,
I think he's such a great character, and I like how he's like trying to be polite on the phone once he escapes, instead of like, I need you here within the hour. He's like, hey, can you be here within the hour? Like, it's just so funny.
And then every name that's said, people are like, oh, is that someone? But no, like he says Cliff. No, Cliff is not anyone. He's just, because whenever anyone hears a name, they're like, oh, who is that a reference? Maybe it's the name of one of the crew or something, but I don't think it's a Marvel character that we'll ever see.
No.
And you almost forgot Hayward's big joke.
Yeah. What?
You lack vision.
You lack vision.
Jimmy Woo is just like, that's so fucking lame. In his head, he doesn't say that, but you can see it on his face.
Yeah. I think this pretty much showed us Hayward, like you and I said, just an asshole again. They still could potentially use him as the Grim Reaper, since he did bring Vision back. He's got technology to do things with, so they might amalgamate him to become a Grim Reaper character down the line. Maybe. I don't want that. I think it's great just to be a company asshole,
I do expect to see him again, but I actually expect it in Armor Wars. He seems like someone who'd be very happy to work with Justin Hammer and some of the other confirmed villains in that, especially since he's mentioned nanotechnology was some of the things they were working on at Sword. So it's like, I think that's where you tie him in, unless he's a Thunderbolt or something in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but I don't think we'll see the Thunderbolts yet.
We'll see. It's kind of hard to fit them in with what we think they're doing based on what we know or what we've seen, but I still would love a type of Thunderbolts. Here comes the big thing, all right? The Darkhold, all right? This is the third time we've seen this book in the alleged connected MCU with the Runaways having a version.
Oh, the Runaways had a version too?
Agents, yes. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. having a version, and all three are different.
Yeah, look, I know I've seen the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. picture. It looks very different than the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. version of the book.
This one is specifically referred to as the Book of the Damned. Okay, the Darkhold. It's Agatha. She's like, this is the Darkhold. Wanda, it's the Book of the Damned. She reads off some Scarlet Witch info about, you are forged. You are destined to destroy the world.
Basically, Hellboy.
And Wanda's like, no, I don't know any of this. That's not me. I don't know magic. Nobody taught me. She's unaware of what she's done, which is one of the things you and I threw out. We were like, we said that fairly early on. If it's Wanda, she's not aware she's doing it, and that turned out to be right until she was reminded that she was doing it. I think after she knocked what's her name out of the universe is likely when she realized.
And also, like, at first I thought, because obviously the next thing, Agatha lets them go so they can actually like yell at Wanda. And at first I'm like, why is she so surprised and think it's a trick? I'm like, no, she's never talked to any of them before. Like Vision. Vision knows that they're having nightmares like Wanda and they're being tortured, but Wanda doesn't even know they have different names. Like when Dottie's woken up, she's like, Dottie, and it's like, actually it's Sarah or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And Wanda thinks it's a trick at first. Agatha's controlling them to make them say those things.
Exactly.
Like, we know that's wrong.
And she frees even more people. You mentioned she frees Dottie first, and Dottie's like begging, "Can I hold my daughter at least for a moment?
Can you write her into a storyline? She could be the bully, or
she could play with your kids and
or be the bully or something.
Yeah, school bully, just anything."
She's showing Wanda exactly that. Wanda's basically been spreading out her own trauma across the town in order to live a happier life herself, and then basically replacing everyone else's bad memories that are really from her with fake memories. It's all compartmentalizing.
And it's interesting because she does think up to that point that she's somehow helping them.
Yes.
Because obviously when she made Westview, she made a utopia, not because we saw last episode, like you said earlier in this episode, it's just a rundown fucking town where like the guy who I always call Luigi was probably like a great concert pianist or something before that, but now he's teaching classes and like it's just something everyone thinks sucks. Even the mailman's a pizza delivery man, which I don't know. I guess mailman pays more than pizza delivery man probably.
Yeah. It's interesting here because everything Agatha has been doing has had two purposes. One is, of course, her greed. She wants power. But two, Agatha is clearly, from last episode and into this episode, fearful of Wanda. And she's, she says, I take power from people that don't deserve it. With Wanda, it's not so much, Wanda, you don't deserve it because you haven't earned it through training like I did. It's more of, you're gonna fuck shit up, you crazy son of a bitch.
Look what you've already done. And
Agatha's afraid, and I think it's awesome that they tell us with Monica several episodes it's Wanda, it's all Wanda, and then they go, nope, it's Agatha all along. I'm like, no, wait, people, it's not. There's only certain things that were Agatha all along, not everything. And then here at the end again, we see it was indeed Wanda unknowingly at first, and then knowingly keeping it going. Agatha did everything she did in the comics and in the show for her initial interactions with Wanda. She taught her about magic, taught her about her control, introduced her to a bigger, broader world of magic, and maintained that she's a greedy chick that's got her own plans.
Yeah, I was also going to say taught her about herself.
Yeah, taught her about herself. What do you think about the big reveals about the Scarlet Witch and Agatha's reaction to Wanda being the Scarlet Witch?
I love it. And the first line of the episode that made me freak out, which is the first line that I posted on our Slack, was stronger than the Sorcerer Supreme, because she says that. It's like, Doctor Strange that movie might not go so well for our Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is knowledge, I'm sure the Ancient One had this knowledge also back when she was alive. That
no, she couldn't see past her own death.
No, not this was going to happen, but she knew about the Scarlet Witch
existed. Yes,
books about the Scarlet Witch and stuff like that.
Yes, absolutely. Christine?
Yeah, I liked it. it just kind of felt like really big, like, oh crap, like what are you gonna do? I can't wait to see what happens next. Like after the show and all of that. So yeah.
I loved how Wanda reacts to all of the freed people, getting onto her. She's, it's too much for her, and she accidentally starts choking them.
Yeah.
And when she realizes what she's doing, she releases them. But Agatha tells her, look, heroes don't choke people. You're torturing these people. You should release them. And Wanda agrees to release them. Oh, excuse me. And when she does bring down the walls of the hex, it allows Sword and military to get in. It allows a lot of Westview to get out. But Billy and Tommy and her visions start
all show up. Yeah, they're all in the same place, and she's watching them
disintegrate in front of her in the style of Joe Quesada's House of M cover with the blocks as Wanda, faded away in a Tetris block form. I think it's a beautiful look. It's terrifying. It's heartbreaking as a dad, as a parent. Yeah, Christine.
Yeah, it's having to watch your family, die in front of you would be, something that would be really hard to do. It's kind of like something that Agatha had said, like, you choose your family or you choose, you got to make a choice. And, at first it's, she's trying to shut that down. Like, I want to hold on to them, but, I think she knows at that point, like, it's still not going to go well.
Yeah. Nick, it's a haunting choice. You're not a parent, but you've got a human heart.
Cried a lot.
How'd you react to this scene?
I was crying at scenes like that. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
It was great. I mean, like as a visual and stuff. Obviously, it's not a great thing to happen, but I was like, oh my god. And at that point, you think about the end of the episode too, and you're like, oh my god. And this is the worst thing to compare it to, but I had to in my brain. I was driving. I'm like, shit. This reminds me of another superhero movie that came out most recently, and it was like, I relinquish my wish. That's what Wanda basically has to do.
Yeah,
like,
this was done in a much better way. And much more realistic, because you only got to get one person to give up their wish,
the
not
person
the
who's
whole
actually in charge
world.
of giving herself a wish.
Yeah, exactly. You're telling me 7 billion people would give up their wish? No. Sorry, Patty Jenkins. Don't bring that shit to Rogue Squadron, okay?
We're not here for that.
Anyway,
I can just see that being a meme maybe going forward of like Pedro Pascal being like, or even Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman being like, relinquish, because she, in a way, she had to make the same decision, like give up the person she loves,
yes,
to save other people.
Others.
This is a much better version of that story,
and a much more logical one. Anyways, yeah. Wanda's clearly been the villain, like they said, whether she meant to be or not. It's just the same as people that suffer from mental illness that causes them to be mentally, verbally, or physically abusive, makes them a bad person for what they've done, but there's a context to it, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that they are evil, like someone that chooses to do things for, evil purposes. Wanda's trying to do what she thought was a good thing, but it's wrong and bad, and definitely painful in the end.
Mm-hmm.
So she shuts down, letting people escape and brings the hex back down around, not before some military sword gets in. Wu is left out though. The kids and Vision are reassembled, and we get our family
Incredibles shot
to do Incredibles or a Fantastic Four or an X-Men. It's a team pose.
Well, I mean,
it's
just seeing the
awesome.
two kids and the two parents and like doing that pose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, way to go, Disney! I love it.
It's cool. It is, and you see the Incredibles reference in a couple episodes ago. But when they make that pose, there's actually a few notes of the Avengers theme is played there.
Bit,
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you hear it, Christine?
I think yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we talked about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Vision is gonna fight. White Vision. The witches are gonna fight each other, and the kids are gonna take care of the military. Is kind of like this. Their plan. Which is cool. What was that you said, Nick?
Well, because like she says, you were born for this. Like
yeah.
Or Vision says it because they haven't fought before. They haven't.
Nope.
It's kind of irresponsible. These are the youngest superheroes we've seen in the Marvel universe. To just be like, hey, 10-year-olds, go take care of the military while we. I mean, they have to split up to do it that way, but
exactly.
And
so I think we should kind of. Yeah, I think we should kind of break this finale down to its three components. Let's talk Visions. Their fight, is great from start to finish in my mind. Nick, not going too deep. Good start to finish?
Hell yeah.
Christine?
Yes.
Okay.
Some people apparently to see two Visions doing when they're flying up high, like phasing in and out of each other and like.
Yep. But the way it ended, excuse me, the way it ended, some people apparently have issues that the Visions would solve their problem with philosophy.
And yet that's the most Vision thing to
loved
possibly
it.
happen.
I know, right? Like, why would you be mad at that?
Oh,
that makes
because
sense.
they wanted to see the reformed Vision, which we did, but not the way they wanted it. They wanted to see them combine, and I think that's what people are really upset that the White Vision is still out there.
But he said it perfectly. I am Vision. He got his memories back. Just because he has a new look doesn't mean that it's
exactly.
Well, that's one of my questions. He doesn't have all the memories back. Well, he does. When I'm rewatching it, you see everything, but yet he runs off rather than like we don't know where he goes. He could have helped Wanda.
Because there's two things. He tells Vision that his directive is to destroy the Vision. Okay? Hey?
Which, really quick, a lot of people, even on Breaking Geek, they're like, well, why the hell have they been tracking Vision when it doesn't really seem to tie into the plot since they already have their Vision? Because we all assumed earlier that Hayward was tracking Vision because he wanted something from the Vision inside to create his Vision or whatever. But I think it makes perfect. I don't think it's a plot hole. I think he's been tracking Vision because that's the Vision's main objective, the new one. He's like, I'm here to destroy Vision. And so I think he'd be tracking the other Vision just so he's easier to find. Otherwise, it's kind of a plot hole if you don't explain it like that.
I think it was. I always considered it as just a way to track something inside, and then that based off of how you can read what you're reading from Vision, you can tell more information. The way certain waves bounce off of him might tell you. That's how I never questioned.
And then
it.
it's also like tracking like behaviors and habits. Yeah, you get to see a broadcast, but you can pinpoint where they're at and map it out.
Yeah, and by watching the broadcast and tracking him, where they live at in the town. Where he's at when he's separated from her. If he gets close to the edge, it tells you a lot of information. It's not a plot hole at all, people. It's no more No more a plot hole than old Captain America sitting at the bench at the end of Endgame. Anyways,
So as you left off, you're saying, yeah, I'm here to destroy the Vision. It's the last thing you said.
He he says my directives to destroy the Vision. They have their fight. They go through the ship of Pythias, I think it is, or whatever, and that's one of those things where, but it's an old mental problem. I forget the right word for it, but
Paradox.
If you've got a ship and the ship is named Bob, the USS Bob, and over time, as the USS Bob's parts are, rotted and replaced or upgraded, whatever, and once the final original piece of the USS Bob is gone, is it still the USS Bob? And they have the conversation of, well, neither one of them is technically the real Bob because they are both Bob, because both of them have enough parts of Bob to be Bob, except it's Vision this time, not Bob.
And then they refer to the rot, which is what, let's say the ship is named after Bob. In this case, the ship is named after, it belongs to Thetis, or it's why it's ship of whatever. I can't remember how to pronounce his name either, which is why I'm glad you
the
went with
memories
Bob.
and
the rot,
every place that he's touched and all of that. And that's when Hex Vision offers to unlock. He tells White Vision that the memories are there. They're just being kept from you. And this is important to me because this is the second of three things about this. White Vision agrees to let the things be unlocked. He says, I want to know. Like, let me know. I want to see. Right?
Yeah.
And then the third thing and final thing about this is once he wakes up, his eyes change. He cocks his head the same as Hex Vision does. And then White Vision says, I am Vision, and flies off. He does not say, I am the Vision, just says, in a different voice, closer to Paul Bettany's Hex Vision, original Vision
less robotic,
voice.
yeah.
He says, I am Vision, and flies off. So I think he has to go figure out a little bit about, I've been Jarvis, I've been Ultron, I've been parts of Banner and Stark, I've been the Vision, I've been White Vision. He now has to go put himself together and on a quest.
Do some soul searching.
On a vision quest of sorts. Anyways, that wraps up Vision until the very, very end. The second part is the boys and the military, which is all family-friendly fun. Speed picks up a hat like Pietro or Quicksilver does in the Fox. Yeah. And Monica helps save them from Hayward,
who just fires on kids.
Well, they're not real, to be fair.
I know, it's still dark, and it's like...
It is dark, but he knows that they're not real. So
up to that point, I think the darkest moment in the MCU is very similar. It's when Peter Parker catches Mysterio without seeing him, and Mysterio has a gun right next to the side of his head.
Yeah,
that was
pretty dark.
And that was dark, and Peter Parker is older. Like that, I think is the darkest moment. Darker than like the snap or anything. Is just like the idea of like, wow, that guy just held a gun to like an 18-year-old's head.
In my mind, the snap, Thanos is legit random. That meant that there were mothers that had 8-month fetuses in their stomachs that were wiped away, and then there were babies that were feeding, and their mothers were wiped away. So no, the darkest moment in the MCU is the snap.
Yeah,
There's
I couldn't imagine
nothing
that.
darker.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I don't know. The gun thing always strikes me, just like holding a gun to Peter Parker's head, like
it's
the
dark.
way it's done.
Don't
You hear the gunshot before you know what's going on as the audience.
Yep, it's dark. Don't get me wrong.
So like you said, Hayward's shooting at the kids.
Yep,
Monica
helps to stop.
They like
I'm
phase
still
through her and drop, I think, because one of her powers is she's able to phase like Vision.
yeah, because of the way she can control light and spectrums and stuff like that.
Electric fields.
Electromagnetic fields, blah blah, all that visual wavelength science fiction or science physics stuff.
Earlier, she uses to recognize what is possessing Ralph Boner still.
Yes,
You can see his necklace is like glowing purple, but only when she uses her powers.
Yep, and that's when we see that he was a tool. Like I said, I think he's a tool, like from being used by Agatha.
And there's something I wanted to add.
What's that?
To that? Because at first, like he's stopping her with his speed, but then it's like he sucks. Like no, he should be able to move quicker than that in order to catch her. I think that maybe Agatha, being partially distracted, she's not able to do as much. So I'm wondering if that was because when I was watching it, I'm like, but that doesn't seem possible to just pull the necklace because you can
too. But yeah, he could have escaped her flip.
I put it as in my mind when she pinned him, she's got enough power that even though he's fast, he's now pinned, so he can't get away. He can't
poke her
phase. He can't That's my
that poke earlier where she goes like flying
he
across
pokes
the room.
her and she just like flies across the room. So
But
it's like
now
know.
she's focusing using her enhanced abilities.
Yeah, but he's not using his at all.
I'm saying I
I
think
almost feel like he gets
she's
cocky towards
enough
the
to
end. Where
counter.
He's doing his nose thing. He's like, you want to rumble?
Yeah, that could be.
He's
Yeah,
like getting
this
cocky.
This doesn't seem right.
Right, and that's what I'm saying
I don't
is
think
that
he even knows she has
got
powers.
That could be it too.
Yeah.
She got, and maybe it's just a
He's never seen her
reaction
use
whenever she gets close to going out, it activates, and then he can use something like that. But
Yeah.
in my mind, it was she caught him off guard, and because she did, and now she's got him, she's got the upper hand. She's using her, power. And then she rips off the necklace. But either way,
he has his Trevor Slattery moment where he's like, "Please don't hurt me." Like,
Yeah. I don't know. I think he should have been able to catch the necklace. Like you see someone's hand because he's he's supposed to have that speed power, and I don't know.
Maybe it was
point.
part of what's his name fighting off, or it's a complete plot hole. So either way.
That's a good point. I didn't really
cat?
think of it.
That's a cat.
Okay, you get the cat, and I'll keep going. Monica and the boys, they're pretty much safe and good to go. Hayward's truck gets smashed by what's her name? Darcy in the
he's trying to just take off, I guess, or is he gonna run someone over? Or
he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna run them over." Like, dude, they just like stop bullets. You think?
And we forgot to mention that Wiccan actually stops one of them. The one that she misses, where you're like, "Oh shit!" and then Wiccan's just like, "Boop."
I got it hit. And then Darcy hits him with that truck, and that's great. And then we get our big showdown of Wanda.
The witches.
Two
never
things.
fought a witch before.
Yeah, you've never thought a witch before.
She has fought a mad titan and almost destroyed him herself.
Oh yeah, she would
have without the barrage.
And this is why again you can tell Wanda has darkness in her. She didn't just go to take Thanos out. She wanted to torture him.
Rip him apart, it looked like limb by limb.
Yes. She was gonna tear him. She was gonna do what Willow did to what's his name in Buffy?
Warren,
but slower.
Well,
and
no,
more in depth.
Yeah, because like she just flayed him and
I think Wanda was gonna start with just the skin and then
nice and slow,
and then the muscle tissue, and then like
oh my god, that's terrifying.
Eventually get down to like ripping bones apart. And Wanda's a dark person because of what she's experienced. Yes, she can have compassion and stuff, but it goes back further. This is why I agreed a long time ago that Wanda, even before WandaVision came on air, I think it was a LR Mornings episode, when they talked about Scarlet Witch being in Multiverse. I think it was Brian and I wondered if she would be the villain, because we were already thinking she would be involved with, a multiverse setup because of House of M. That's going back to 2019. Shit, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
the announcements of the shows and Endgame have just come out. So yeah.
Exactly. See, guys, we've been Easter egg hunting since 2008, since the first Iron Man and its post credits scene. Agatha absorbs a shit ton of power from Wanda. Wanda basically realizes that it'll be a good idea to trick Agatha into thinking she's absorbing all of her power, and while Wanda sets runes around the inside the hex. What scene?
Where Wanda does the woo thing that she does to Tony Stark.
Yeah. That's right. Coming. So, right. Wanda does sneak up behind. Goes, puts
exact
Agatha,
same shot from like
one of these things.
Right.
Age of Ultron, where then Agatha's eyes go red.
Yep, sending her into a nightmare of sorts, and
past.
and her trial. Wanda thinks it's gonna go one way. And then the zombie witches
don't
rise.
Do this, Wanda.
Not
really.
She thinks she's in control, but she's not.
She thinks she's in. And the zombie witches rise and attack Wanda.
They call it the Scarlet
Agatha monologues. It's great, but Wanda is easily able to break free, absorb a bunch of excuse me. Wears the red crown.
Yeah, the red crown starts appearing.
With two very prominent red tips for that M, like in the comics, but imagery is an important thing. She breaks free. She absorbs a bunch of power. We get out of that memory, and Agatha, offers to make this deal. You give me your power, I'll fix this hex for you, and you can live in this perfect world. Wanda pretends, we find out it's a pretend, but she's like, fine, take it, have it, throws all the magics, sets up a bunch of runes, big reveal.
Because hits Agatha a lot, but misses a lot.
Misses a lot on purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
To set up the runes. And big reveal, Wanda did not let Agatha absorb all of her magic at all. She shows her that it was an illusion, that she set up runes, and that Agatha can't use her magic, and then Wanda basically absorbs all the magic in the area, including the blue and purple shit from Agatha, and red shit and orange shit and all sorts of magic stuff, just all going to the Scarlet Witch, and
gets her costume and everything.
Yeah, she comes out as the Scarlet Witch, and I'm telling you guys, the M Crown Scarlet Witch, the color of her magic, her hex magic is even redder than her regular magic at the end credit scene when she's going through the dark hold, which emanates other colors as well. Red. Anyways, the runes is cool. She's not perfect, but she's learned things. She tells Agatha, just like you taught me. Going up until Agatha's defeat and the absorption, I love this.
Yeah, it's good.
You want to elaborate beyond it's good?
Yeah, like something that you had missed was that Agatha had said that she would do all of this. I'll keep you and your family here.
No, I said that.
Yeah, but you didn't say that it was obviously a lie.
Oh,
and like
yeah.
when she thought that she got all the power, that she,
Just
was
the
like,
hand movements.
oh well, this is the like this. What you cast is what you get. So this is the world you get. This is what you
Yeah.
get stuck with, and it's like, it's kind of strange because it's like, after all that's happened, you really think that Wanda's going to trust you, but okay. So I was kind of like, I liked that, she's smart. She's learned a lot from Agatha, including that she cannot be trusted.
Exactly.
So.
And that's what everyone learns from Agatha in the comics. This is the brilliant thing about Marvel, is they made her, and this is my issue with Jace. She is 100% comic accurate, but also 100% MCU compatible and adapted. It's
like
an
everything we've seen
amazing
before.
job. It's an amazing job at hitting every key historical and character trait and note from 616 Agatha, but they made her look younger with a younger actress. She's not a Aunt May 80-year-old type like she was in the comics. She taught Wanda a lot
Just in that short
about
amount of time.
magic, a lot about control, a lot about her past, and set up so many storylines that we know we could easily see coming in future, like Nick said, chapters. Nick, your take before we get to what Wanda does, but from the trial to Wanda absorbing the magic of Agatha.
It was great. I mean, that's the kind of finale you look for in a Marvel film. Also,
Yeah,
like she's
and where they put the budget.
yeah. I mean, she's obviously like. I mean, there are other villains. White Vision was a villain. Hayward's a villain, but she's the Thanos or many of the. I'm spacing on villain names.
Who's the villain?
I was just saying. I was trying to name villain names for any of the other. She's the Killmonger. Like she's the bad. Like.
Agatha's not the bad guy, dude.
Well, I mean, no, but you know what I mean. She's the antagonist.
Yeah, that's a
Whether
good
she's
word.
bad or not. Antagonist just means working against the protagonist. And whether the protagonist is good or not, Wanda is our protagonist.
I wouldn't necessarily even consider Wanda the protagonist in this. If anyone is the real protagonist
Vision?
of this story, in my mind, I would say Vision, and then secondary at best Monica, but
Yeah.
Vision is our protagonist in this.
Okay, then she's the antagonist of the antagonist.
Sure, her. Maybe if we want to get into semantics of protagonist and antagonist, but when we get right down to actual actions, who actually tortured people, who held people against their will, who was at one point willing to continue to hold people against their will for their selfishness. It's Wanda. Like I said, she was going to torture Thanos when she could have easily just ended it, killed him, ended it, done over. The Dark Black Order would have seen Thanos fallen. The Avengers had the gauntlet hit. Maw would have tried to retreat. Like, Endgame would have been completely different. But Wanda's a dark person because of her experiences.
And her personality. I think it's also a person.
Yeah.
I think it's part of her personality too.
think
'Cause
so?
if you look at like Steve Rogers,
Mm-hmm.
he was bullied. Some people who are bullied become bullies. They
True.
they do stuff like that, and then some don't. It depends on personality as well. So I think she's a mixture of that.
True. And we'll get to that bully
She had the
moment.
trauma early in
in a
her
minute.
life, not
Yeah,
just the
trauma, like
Vision
darkness.
trauma.
Yeah.
I'll just say darkness.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they have darkness in
I
their
mean,
life.
at one point, she was
Context,
angry enough
of
to sign
course.
up with Hydra. Who,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
one
Yeah.
thinks Hydra's the good guy. She just was angry. at
right.
Stark.
And context is important, but like when it comes to Agatha, what I loved is I think Marvel did a great job at making sure that she never actually did anything wrong.
She killed Sparky.
Sparky is not real. Sparky is an imaginary dog.
No, those are real lives. She even says Wanda has the power to create life. In the
and
last
they're
episode.
connected.
They can only exist in the hex, but they're still alive.
But are they? If they can't exist without that, is that really alive?
True. I was going to ask you this, Kyle.
That's why she calls Vision at the end. You're my memories.
Yeah.
This is a physical thing, but you yourself are beyond that, and we'll get to the kids at the end credits again. But Wanda's, the Wanda's a bad guy, and let's get to even.
Hold on.
Go.
So is Agatha, just because what's she gonna do with that power? She's gonna then she'll be more powerful than the Sorceress
until
Supreme.
She does
so
something.
She'll move on to taking out other sorcerers and being even more, and then she becomes an Avengers level threat.
And at that point, you can look at her and call her the villain. But when her coven, tries her, she hadn't, as far as we can tell, done anything but learned something that the coven forbid. The coven was going to kill her. Either I honestly don't think she defended herself knowingly. I think she was trying to learn that absorption power.
Yeah, she did look surprised when it happened.
Yeah, I don't think she knew she had it yet. So, but she defends herself. She defends herself against Wanda. She's the one that tries to get Wanda to stop, wants to get the power away from Wanda, so Wanda doesn't fuck shit up. Yes, it's for selfish ulterior motives, but if everyone watches, especially now that we know everything, if you watch 1 through 9, you'll see how great they did of keeping her technically, and we all know, thanks to Futurama, technically is the best type of being right or anything. She is technically innocent, a technically innocent person.
You have one more.
But I mean, it was her punishment. They had a law back when she was on trial, and that was the punishment for breaking the law. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
it was darker times, of course.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Kyle,
after
I had one more question.
Sure.
For you specifically. So we've discussed this a lot before on LRM mornings, and it's all over the place. This felt like a very natural woman power, fighting each other in a way the MCU hasn't done it that clearly. Would you agree? It's like the last episode of Mandalorian. They're not advertising it's woman v woman, and yet it is. And you have two super powerful, maybe some of the most powerful beings in the MCU fighting each other. And it doesn't feel forced like Endgame, where they're all showing up.
Not only that, but they specifically include very known Wiccan and feminist witches imagery wording in this
Thought you were the
show.
Only magical girl in town.
And because that stuff is already existent and using it, you're right, Nick. Nothing felt that. You know what it really felt like? It felt like watching I know Whedon is not everyone's favorite person right now. It felt like watching a really cool episode of Buffy, with witches fighting.
I didn't even pick up on that, with it being women. It felt like right in place. It didn't feel forced. It didn't feel obvious. The fact that I didn't even see that. I mean, they did such a good job where it's not like some kind of cringe moment or a notice I see what you're doing there.
Look at us, please, somebody pay. Look, we're on the side of you who do it the right way. It's a line from Futurama. God, I love how much wisdom you can get from Futurama. There's the show Godfellas, where Bender flies off into space and becomes a god, so to speak, and he eventually runs. Right. The
I've actually seen that
creatures
episode, and I've seen very little Futurama.
Right. So he ends up in front of what looks like a galaxy or a group of galaxies, and we get the idea that this is potentially God, a creator, a supreme being of some sort. But he imparts this wisdom. He says, when you do something right, people won't be sure if you're doing anything at all. Now I think that fits, right?
Yeah.
I think that fits perfectly.
Very wise.
So, anyways, new costume, awesome. I love the fear for Agatha. Oh my God, you don't know what you've done. You have no idea what you've unleashed. You're gonna need me. All again, comic book stuff. Agatha, who we know spends her whole life making deals and plans and traps. She works with the tech side with the Fantastic Four and Doom. She works on the magic side with Wanda and Doom. Yes, you guys heard me mention Doom twice on purpose because there's other magic people that are gonna have to end up eventually be involved if Doom is coming, and we've got like fucking Clea and shit like that. There's so much cool here, but Wanda decides to keep Agatha. Well, she turns her back into Agnes.
Yeah.
The role you chose, the nosy neighbor.
Where she thinks she can keep her, under control and whatnot. And she's like, you're going to be the nosy neighbor. And again, Agatha's like, this isn't right. This is me. You're being cruel. Bully, Christine. You pointed out this is a bully. Agatha, certainly, put her in stasis, whatever. Get her to the raft, like lock her away, tracking. Because she's a threat. Because she's got abilities. If you wanted to go
Turn her
that
over
way,
to Strange.
But hand her to Strange. There's 1,000 things Wanda could have done. I don't think it could stand because again, Agatha technically didn't do anything wrong, but Strange would see her as a threat and then do something to keep tabs on her. In
fact, he's probably only by the end of the show. I'm sure he's aware of everything. But
yeah. He's only been back a couple of weeks. Wong's got some catching up to do.
Everyone's dealing with their trauma of being snapped, including the good doctor.
Because I don't think he went very far past seeing how to beat Thanos. Like once he saw
that's as far as he went, since he had to do it.
That's as far as he went.
Many million times, yeah.
He's like, I don't need to go 3 weeks after Thanos, so he's catching up.
And now he has no time
fish
stone
going on,
Yeah,
so.
and no time stone. So Christine, that bully remark, and Nick, I think Christine, that's a great point here. That might be why Wanda's dark. Go ahead.
Yeah, just like what you said, like that was incredibly cruel to just be trapped in your own body and just I have no idea what that feels like. What Agnes is going to be feeling like and how long she's going to be stuck this way. Just like to be not just trapped in your own body, to be trapped in this town. You have no control of nothing. And Wanda is a dark person. She's shown a few times. So it's just like, it was a bit much, but it's kind of funny, but then it's also like, oh, that's actually really dark. So
and then Catherine Hahn makes it light just with her, I don't know, it's
reaction.
fucked up. Where her new jokes as the nosy neighbor.
Yeah.
Like
what do you think about
the
like darkness and Wanda and bullying, feeling bullied by life?
Completely
not
agree.
necessarily bullied by a person or because she was different, but bullied by, life shit on her a lot.
Over and over, and over again.
So
definitely agree. And I like the comparison to Captain America where he was bullied, so he grew up to be like, I can't stand bullies, like no matter where they're from. And with her, it's that's. And then even I've been watching a lot of shows about serial killers, and usually it's a trauma around that age that leads someone to
some people
be psychotic.
and yeah, some people have the mental ability to do
Resiliency.
yeah, to go and rise above all of that, and then others, it does take them to dark places, and it
Usually
happens with
combined with other issues
yeah, so
that
it's
weakens the resiliency. There's people, I don't
Plus,
want
her
to.
mind has been fucked up by a Infinity Stone.
So I'll try to do this. Okay. Everyone on knows that movie Cherry, right? Right. Tom Holland, soldier, or
Yeah.
was he a soldier or Marine, whatever. He's military, Iraq or Afghanistan, PTSD. Same old story that Hollywood always tells. Now, I personally will never scream up and down, I want good representation of PTSD on screen because it hurts my feelings, and that they make us look. But yeah, Hollywood keeps making every PTSD story a sob story. Oh, poor. Or a lot of people who in the military have issues. I've got issues. We deal with our issue. We get sad. We might cry. We might have flashbacks. But not every fucking person drives themselves to hard drugs to deal. We have resiliency.
yeah,
It sucks to face death, to be on either end of death, giving it or being close to, or of course you wouldn't be able to talk about dying, but that sucks. But resiliency is so important, and it's what enables a lot of people to survive shit like that without going dark. They still have bad days,
yeah,
but
and
they're not dark.
not only that, but people handle trauma differently. So, you never know. And then, like, also, like, another thing that I wanted to mention is, like, what was the name of the movie that had, it had Natalie Portman, and it had, crap, I'm trying to remember. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I've got to have more names than that.
Yeah, I've
Anyway,
seen-
Hayes.
With the second name,
while
I could
she's
probably
looking
name
that
it, but-
up, we'll continue on. She leaves, Agatha locked up as Agnes, the nosy neighbor. Her and Vision and the boys go home. She says, her and the Vision tell the boys as they're putting them to bed, because Vision asks before they head home, I know you'll make things right, but not for us. And she says, no, not for us. So they go put the boys to bed. Couple key things here. Vision and her tell the boys that they're proud of them. And then she tells the boys, thank you for choosing me.
Yeah. That was
Very,
powerful.
very key again, because people should remember something that we've pointed out in the comics. The boys were originally created as parts of Mephisto's soul. Something I didn't know a few weeks ago, and I kept meaning to bring it up in conversations, but I actually wrote it down this time. In one of the retcons, and they're going basically they're using the very mutant and magic connected retcons of what we've been talking about, House of M, West Coast Avengers, things like that. The boys, the energy when she creates the boys, it was accidentally with parts of Mephisto. So when the boys are eventually reabsorbed, he's involved. And that's why it's still a real possibility, because she did it on accident in the comics in one of the retcons. But the wave comes and the boys fade away. She gets her last goodbye with Vision, where she, explains, what he is. Yeah, yes, I gave you a physical body, but you're my sorrow, my hope, my memories.
And she also calls him part of the Mind Stone.
And the part of the Mind Stone that lives in
within
her.
me. Yeah.
Again,
That's always been their
showing that
major
it's-
connection that brought them together.
And yep. and showing that he is an extension of her, every bit as real as her, but has to go back to living inside of her. And I think it's a beautiful and sad moment, but it's not all sad because we know that there's Vision on a quest somewhere to figure himself out.
Yep.
And I'm very, very happy at the potential for more Paul Bettany. That wraps up the main part of the show as far as well,
Wanda leaves town.
she leaves town. Monica's
Even her
like,
car, I noticed the third time.
Yeah.
Because she flies
Yeah. I
away,
noticed
but
that too.
she walks past her car is why I only noticed it the third time.
yeah, to fly off out of town once she walks out. But she
She never really
basically
apologized to
walks.
anyone except for Monica.
Right. She walks basically so Monica could say the line, "They'll never know what you gave up." And in my mind, I'm like, fuck, these people were giving up a hell of a lot more, okay?
Yeah,
And I
like,
love
especially the people
Monica's-
that she. Oh, go ahead.
No, you can go first.
The people that she couldn't have full control over, where they're just like they're stuck in a loop. It's like these people are
Really
they're
tortured.
starving to death. You know, they're not able to go to the bathroom. Are they able to sleep? You know, are they staying hydrated? It's like, what kind of torture are they going through extra?
Yeah.
You know, for all of that. Like, that was really scary.
Yeah, Monica, stop trying to humanize those people. You were only under control for 2 episodes.
Well, I like
Anyways.
Monica's line. That made me cry a little bit too, where she's like, if I had your powers, I definitely would have brought back my mother, which is her
Yeah.
trauma throughout the series.
Yeah. And I honestly, I couldn't have said goodbye to my kids. You're damn right. But I'm a
Yeah.
selfish asshole. So
Even
so.
the kids are like overly cool
Accepting.
with it, I thought. Yeah. Like,
Wiccan,
not just like, go to
Speed
bed,
might
so
not
you-
have known, but Wiccan definitely did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe you could even, in your head canon, say Wiccan was feeding calming to his brother or something, you know. You could head canon that if you needed to. Wanda flies off. She's, God, man, that costume is awesome.
To think Whedon told her that she would never get to wear the costume. He
She
told her that on
once
the set
said
of
she
Age of
never
Ultron.
wanted to wear it.
He's also.
I
I'm not
thought.
paying him as a bad guy when he said that, but he
Yeah.
also did say that where he's like, "Don't." Maybe it was more of a. It's not really.
Don't
he didn't say like
worry.
he will never. It's probably like,
Yeah, don't worry,
you'll
you're
never
not
have
gonna
to.
have to wear. Yeah,
Yeah.
but they fucking Marvel gave us Doc Strange in perfect Doc Strange costume. So
Yeah, and then also like Loki doesn't look weird.
Yeah.
You know, like you had mentioned that like when we were first watching Thor, like he doesn't look stupid.
Yeah.
You know,
to make
with
that
his
golden
helmet.
horns work,
Yeah.
bravo, Marvel. 2 post-credit scenes, mid-credit, after-credit, whatever you want to say. We get scrolls, a random scroll that says, hey, they heard you were grounded to Monica, and he wants to talk to you up there.
One of your mom's friends wants to talk to you, and it is said
One of
he-
your mom's friends. Yep. And people
Fury,
are
I think.
Fury, Talos.
I don't think it is Talos because Talos
this,
should be on
that.
Earth right now, and Fury should be
Well-
in space based on Far From Home, which takes place a
It's-
few months later.
Right. That's the big question, though. At what point? Because how many days after the battle for the Infinity Gauntlet, or for the what I like to call the Iron Gauntlet hit?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
After
is
the battle
officially called that.
for the Gauntlet, how many days was Tony buried? How long did it take to cremate and you know, do whatever with Tony Stark's body, right? When was his funeral? That is kind of important to know, as far as timelines and things like that.
Well, usually funerals they run really quickly.
Usually
So, yes.
5-day haze because it's expensive to store a body, but
I know
there
that
would be
Pepper
a lot
can afford
of,
that,
she
but
can afford
you know,
it.
everyone's everyone's pretty much there.
Yeah, I
so
don't
you
thi-
just called, you know, get a jet to fly them all in. You know, I think it would be quick.
Probably. So we're
Yeah.
we're guessing 5 days for that. So yeah. I mean,
we don't even know if Fury's Fury.
exactly.
I do think Fury is Fury at that point because I think it's a less powerful scene at the end of Infinity War if that's Talos and not Fury.
I agree.
The switch thing happens after, I think.
Yeah, the people that think Fury's been a Skrull since like Phase 2, I don't like that idea. I hope not. I hope that he had already been working off and on with Sword, since Civil War, at least.
Well, as soon as S.H.I.E.L.D. goes down.
Or not Civil War, Age of Ultron. Yeah. At least since Age of Ultron, that he was getting in with Sword. So I think that he's been off and on Earth at different times, and that the Fury we see most of the time up until Far From Home, I think has been the real Nick Fury. Maria Hill, on the other hand, might be a Skrull from the get-go.
That's my theory, is Maria Hill never existed as a human. She's been because we met her long after Skrulls were introduced as far as the timeline. And we know Fury's a real dude because we saw him before the Skrulls, but she could always have been a Skrull working with him.
Yeah. With him or against him.
Who knows? We're getting to
dun dun dun
invasion eventually.
Second,
it's also, I think it's important to note that she is a real FBI agent, the Skrull. Like, she's not someone
FBI or local
FBI.
police?
I thought it was FBI. She had that badge. I don't know. I guess I don't know what the badges look like. Because I thought at the end it was just FBI arriving. I thought maybe she's Sword.
I don't know.
A good part of Sword.
She had a badge, regardless. If she was FBI, Wu should know her, which would explain why he wouldn't have, reacted weird. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Second, or the final post-credit scene is our second Sam Raimi reference when we get an amazing drone shot, continuous drone shot from across a mountainous valley and lake river pond thing to a cabin in the woods, into the cabin, past an awake Wanda,
just doing normal
Wanda
shit.
Maximoff, pouring
Making
herself
tea.
some tea, and into the back room of the Scarlet fucking Witch, astral projecting, floating, more physical, like not a see-through at all, casting way more things than Strange did when he was studying while sleeping, and she's way redder. The magic is way redder. She hears the boys scream off, "Mom, please help." And that's it. That's the end of our show, Nick. Yeah.
So good. I loved it.
Yeah.
I will say that I meant to bring this up a little bit earlier, but it ties in now perfectly. Just Marvel keeps figuring out how to adapt stuff from the comic that you're like, that would never work on the screen. Going back as far for me as Captain America, I'm like, how are they going to convincingly have a shield bounce around and come back into his hand?
Yeah.
It works on screen. How are they going to convince us to like an Asgardian god along with the other more technical Avengers? It worked. How am I going to like a talking raccoon? It worked. And this was like, how am I going to believe that a android and a human are in love with each other? And they just continue to make stuff from the comic that seems too bizarre to put into the universe. Where at this point, I guess nothing's too bizarre now that we have talking trees and big purple dudes.
Yep. And I still think this is important when it comes to these kids, because something you tried to point out, Nick, Agatha says, the Scarlet Witch can create life, right? Wanda hears the boys scream, right? And this is why, again, I'm still on, and I'm going to call him out by name and give him a shout out. Eric Voss over at New Rockstars has been a big Mephisto guy, as well as Nick and I. And I still am, because I still see the comics that they're following. And I admitted a while ago that they could change at any time, and that, I've always been the one. I even once said they might even be misdirecting me. I don't think they are, because they're really following these comics very, very closely. She hears her boys scream, "Mom, help." I don't think that's the real boys. I think that's kind of an Easter egg to the idea of Pandemonium puppeting the fake boys that come back that eventually lead to her breakdown in the House of M part. It's a sign that the boys' souls are definitely magic based, not multiverse based. And I don't think that we will necessarily see her going through the multiverse to find replacements the way Kingpin was trying to do in Spider-Verse. She's looking for a magical way to bring her boys back because their energy itself is magic based. And that's why I still think we're still looking at a Mephisto, potentially some amalgamation or even a change up where it's Dormammu or something, but there's still a bigger bad connected to her. We know Mephisto gets his soul's back, part of his the energy G stuff back in the comics, and he wants Wanda's chaos magic and all of that. This is all stuff that could still happen down the road. I was wrong saying we would get the name drop or an image of a bigger bad before the end of the series, but I still stand that for certain. If just by looking at what they did in this show and looking at the comics they borrowed from and what happens next, I think they fully embrace, because it's such a and I'm sorry I'm talking so much, and I want Nick and Christine's opinions, because some people out there have brought up the ancient magic demons and gods like Chthon or Sithon, or however you want to pronounce it and stuff like that, who was very important with the Darkhold, was at one point the creator of the Scarlet Witch before she was retconned as a mutant and retconned as created by the High Evolutionary and retconned as this, that, and the other. The point is they're following this mutant thing, I think, to help with the X-Men. I don't think she, in the end, will be a mutant ever herself. No. But I think the way she'll end up getting her kids back, I think they will be mutants, which is how they will tie her
from a
to
different
the mutants
multiverse
and Magneto. And
so
that's
a multiverse where an Earth where mutants exist. So when she grabs Wiccan and Speed, they are her children, but they are mutant versions.
Whenever she's able to remanifest their souls into vessels, those vessels will be mutants, I believe. That's how I think she will. That's how I think we still will end up with a more mutant based House of M, while this was a magic based House of M, if you will, House of W, House of Wanda. I think the House of M thing is still to come, because you and I and others have agreed, mutants can't just appear, and you can't just have Charles and Magneto unless they're really, really old in the MCU, because Magneto has to be bullied and experience bigotry and racism, both as a human, whether it's by religion or race or color, whatever, and as a mutant. That's like core to him. But we're so far past those types of events in the MCU, they would be really old. So I think it's got to be eventually some sort of multiverse thing with her, but she won't be mutant. Her kids will in the future. That's what I think as far as what we see at that end credit scene and what that leads to. Of course, there's other things for potential Spider-Man and definite Doc Strange too. Mm-hmm. Nick, your response first.
God, I was gonna excuse me. What was I gonna bring up? Oh, yeah. So I might fully agree with you. I can't remember, or partially agree with you. I don't think Mephisto was involved in anything that's happened yet, is how I'm convinced. But I do think he would come in, like, I don't know, where would souls of creatures that are created unnaturally go? Like Mephisto might have those souls in the Marvel version of hell.
Like, or it was, again, maybe they do it like the comics where she accidentally took the energy from him and he's pissed and he gets it back, you know.
Because I definitely still think we're in the equation of him showing up at some point, mostly because of that Loki picture, unless that's a complete misdirect for this show. Like, and for our listeners, I know you're tired of hearing Mephisto. I doubt we'll be talking about him during Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but we probably will have to reference him in Loki until we at least see that why there's that stained glass window and what's going on with that shot with like Owen Wilson and a little girl.
And anything magic connected to count out anyone from Chthon, like
I'm just saying Falcon and the Winter Soldier is not that corner of the universe. So there we want to. For the next series we'll be talking about, we won't be talking Mephisto all the time. Magic
wise. And the main reason why I think we're going to stick with this Mephisto line instead of her Chthon connections and stuff, which they could still bring up. It's just, other than the Darkhold existing and the fact I know we're getting vampires, okay, but we still don't know what the Disney deal is. We don't know with Sony and how much connection Morbius and all that's.
Well, Morbius is different than Blade, isn't he?
I understand.
Morbius a science experiment and Blade is created because of witches and stuff?
No, Blade is
well, vampires are created by witches.
Vampires in the MCU, I don't know if it was original or retconned who have been created by Chthon and the Darkhold. Okay. They were brought forth from the Darkhold.
And then I know Blade's actual childhood. I meant that the vampires themselves, including the Daywalker Blade, exist because of this potentially.
Other than the fact that we're going to see vampires and the Darkhold does exist, they just haven't done enough groundwork for those types of ancient beings. You know what I'm saying? And with Doc Strange 2 coming up
Doc Strange
so quickly, I don't see us. You've got Wanda, Mordo, and Dormammu all to worry about as potential bads, right?
I just think at the end of that, the very end of that movie, maybe even 2 post-credit sequences, we'll see that vampires have been brought over from the multiverse, and maybe we'll even see Charles and Eric being like, where the fuck are we now? Maybe. It's Professor X. They even call this something like that, but they're like, I don't recognize this Earth. Just teasing that they're in our universe now.
Christine, where do you think it's going?
I don't know. And y'all just said like a lot. And it's like, I don't know where to start. I like with what you had originally had just said, I'd be interested in seeing that. And it's one thing I will say is it's going to be dangerous to live in this world, for just like the average Joe. Like I feel so bad for them, and there's just like so much coming, and I'm excited to see it. But yeah, like, you don't want Doctor Strange's new movie to have too much in it, and so it's like I don't know what to expect, but
and vampires could already be in the universe. We just haven't heard of them yet. Like,
Agatha's
the first real witch we've heard of.
Yeah.
And we've gone through this is the 24th project, 25th project.
Mm-hmm.
So vampires could be around. I just don't like the idea. There aren't mutants somewhere hiding when stuff like Infinity War goes down.
But like what we have like here for us in reality, we've got stuff about witches and vampires and stuff. So that could be something where it's just like, there's,
because that's like,
stuff.
Plot of a lot of horror movies or television shows where it's like, oh yeah, we have existed among you for like generations, like not like centuries, but I'm the first vampire you've met, like sort of.
Right. So it was a great show to me. Great series. I loved all the magic stuff. I loved that they have a big magic cord going through the MCU right now, and from that cord there's individual strands of strings going off to other stories like they did with Monica and Darcy and Wu, and I'm excited for what comes next, and I'm super excited to go back over all of my notes and our past podcasts to let you guys know what Nick and I got right and wrong, or the iffy shit, and we'll do a big in-depth looking forward at the magic thread next week.
And then in 2 weeks, we go to the more grounded corner of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Well, yeah, as long as it airs in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited. That's always been the one I've been most excited for. Though I agree. I love WandaVision. I don't know. It seems like people who even enjoyed the first episodes or didn't like them, but then liked it more once they got out of the TV show, seem to be turning on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I see a lot of negative and a lot of positive online about it. So I think it might land somewhere around like Captain Marvel as far as popularity overall. So
Yeah.
I disagree.
That's
I
a
think it's one of
shame.
the best things Marvel's done.
Yeah.
I like to hit a lot. I think just too many people had too high expectations. Like, look.
And it's not a movie. Also,
You know?
it looks great, but like they're trying long form. Like this is different. This is new. And I'm gonna be honest. I think
Or like comic books.
yeah. Like especially Falcon and the Winter Soldier, 6 episodes. How long is an average storyline in the comics? 5 to 7 comics make up one storyline. Which is why I'm really excited for the shows, because they can feel more like, you get your new story every month. No, you get your new story every week.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell with this, but by the time we watch Winter Soldier, I think this will be a true statement. I think this is the biggest game changer in filmmaking since the Avengers, where the Avengers is like, we're gonna bring together different movie franchises as one, and this is like, now we're gonna expand that story, still connected to like stuff you can watch at home and stuff you have to go to the theaters to see. 2-hour projects and 6-hour projects.
Yeah,
So-
what they tried to do or originally wanted to do, but with like Agents of Shield, but it fell
It feels
apart
like
because
they
Jeff
false
Loeb
started
sucks at
twice
running
between
shit like
Netflix
that.
and ABC, but I think now they really have my attention.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else, Nick? I mean, it's your show. Oh, I was just hoping
Our
because you said
show,
you didn't
yeah.
have the notes for the show. So,
yeah. Thank you for leading, because I didn't remember all the orders of the scenes and stuff, and I didn't take notes because I don't know. I must have been lazy this week, but I'm not sleeping a lot because my cat won't shut the fuck up, and there's nowhere in my apartment that I can put him and not hear him. So,
Yeah,
Anyways.
we've been there.
yeah,
Like it's breakfast time and they'll start waking you up and it's like, no, stop. I went to
Yeah.
bed late. Leave me alone.
yeah, but yeah, I'm excited for the next thing, but yeah, we will be doing reviews of WandaVision, like reviewing theories and stuff like Kyle said next week. And then after that, I think we're doing a Winter Soldier prelude, Falcon and the Winter Soldier prelude,
talking
right?
trailers and what to expect,
And we'll do it better than Legends, which I already did release, I think. It said they released 2 of their episodes. I assume they released the Falcon one and the Winter Soldier one, but I think they're also going to release like a Zemo one and a Sharon Carter one.
Yeah, you will definitely do it better.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right. Anything else, guys?
Nope.
No, thanks, Christine. I hope you get a chance to join us for future episodes as well.
It was fun.
It's kind of becoming our normal third, so I'm okay with that happening. If she's okay
Thanks.
with committing the time.
Yeah, I love doing this. This is fun.
Good. We finally got you podcasting. I remember you were timid to do it at first.
Yeah,
Or you
because
did that.
I never really spoke much. Like I remember in high school, I just didn't. I didn't say much. I was quiet. So
Yeah,
for me, it's like, oh, talking. Oh, crap.
she's good now though.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, everybody. Where can you be found, Kyle?
At that Kyle Malone on Twitter and at that one Kyle Malone on Instagram, and that's the number 1.
And I believe that you are Christine's manager. So if anyone really needs to reach out to her,
Yes.
You
You.
can,
Yeah. I don't have anything.
they can try to go through Kyle and see if he passes along the message. Agent. We'll call you her agent. But then,
Yes.
Get back to your dungeon.
yeah. I'm at Geeky Nick Doll. We do this every Monday for y'all, even the weeks when there aren't new TV episodes. I have already committed to going to Black Widow 2, no matter where the country is at that point in the world as far as vaccines and stuff. So we'll be here with Marvel content, and I'm also do Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast on Fridays. If you want to hear us, I'm sure we always do a vision check every week if you want to hear that group of people talk about WandaVision for like 20 minutes this Friday. So, yeah. And with that, Excelsior!
Enough said.